I'm going to do a quick update here on a couple of things that I had talked about in some other videos, just so you can kind of see what has happened with these. As I had pointed out before, my Uberti 1858 New Army, or the reproduction of a Remington New Model Army, was having issues with the timing. This was after I took it apart to take a look at everything in it and to clean it up, and somehow jacked it up getting it back together. So yeah, whenever you watch any of my disassembly videos, remember I have actually torn up something, taking it apart and putting it back together. This is the only thing I've actually messed up. Okay, I've like lost pieces before and I had a piece go somewhere, but this is the first thing I actually just really messed up. The issue that was going on with it is that the timing was off, particularly if you cocked the hammer quickly. You would cock it and it would be sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes just a bit out of time, and it's kind of like it over rotated and you'd have to circle it back a little bit. I'd had a local gunsmith look it over, and and looked all over the internet, Reddit and where else to try to find something, and somebody finally asked me a question, which is, you said this is new, so why didn't you just send it in for a warranty repair? And I'm like, Uberti does warranty repairs? And I looked and they do. So I sent it to Uberti, or actually I found out that Benelli is who actually does the warranty work for Uberti here in the States, which is interesting. I sent my revolver to Benelli, but I sent it to them. They said it'd take about a week for them to get to it. It was right about a week. And then once they looked at it, I got an email once they started to look at it, and then it was just like a couple days later I got the email back like, it's fixed, we're shipping it back, and then it just shows back up. And yeah, it works good now. I mean, I can do really fast on the hammer, that's about as quick as I'm going to be able to bring it down there, and it's in time every time I do it there. If I do it slow, it stays in time. So that is really awesome. Looking over it, it looks like, although they have not sent me anything telling me what they did, from what I can tell, it looks like they did some work here on the cylinder. When it was messed up and not working right, it had actually gouged the cylinder a bit. And the cylinder looks like it has been polished up quite a bit. I don't know how much it shows up here on camera, but it just looks a lot more polished than the rest of the stainless. And also right here on the little notches in here that the bolt goes up into, I can actually feel a pretty good sharp lip right there that wasn't quite like that before. So they did some work on that to get it done there. I don't know if they did work on anything else. I mean, they may have done some work. They may have put a new bolt in there. There's some file marks and stuff on it there where it's filed to a specific shape. It's got a pretty sharp edge on it there too. So it looks like they may have either filed the bolt or replaced the bolt. The bolt is this little, it's a piece that's in there. It's that little bit right there, which is what engages in these. So I'm assuming that the bolt and the notches on the cylinder weren't lining up quite right with each other anymore. But anyway, that is in good shape. I'm happy with it. I'm going to have to get it out and do some more shooting with it. I also need to try some smaller caps on it. The CCI 11s I'm using on it are a little big, so I probably need to go down to 10s to fit on it. So I'm going to have to source some of those and try them. But otherwise, I think we got this guy looking good. The other thing I was going to talk about is the KP-15 polymer or monolithic polymer loader from KE Arms. I had put my Ruger upper on it just because that was the upper that I had. It's a little bit long for it, a little bit longer than what Carl and Ian were imagine people putting on this thing. But the issue I was having was after putting the polymer lower on there, I was only getting single shots out of this. It wouldn't cycle, and I wasn't sure what was going on with it. And I finally figured out on here that it was in fact the Ruger upper, and it just happened to break right as I put it on the polymer lower, which was just a complete coincidence, because what was wrong was the gas block was loose up here, and I didn't realize that that was the case until I got in here and saw there's the little, I'm not sure what it is, the end of the gas tube goes right there and goes into you know, this bit on the bolt right here. Well, that was loose. And it was when I got it apart and looked at it, I'm putting this together in the wrong order, but it was when I finally took it apart and had the bolt out that I realized that that end of the gas tube there was moving up and down when I pressed on it, and I'm like, oh, well, that ain't right. And so that was what was wrong with the whole thing. But I was able to get this apart, get that tightened back and realigned. Fortunately, there were some marks on there where it had been tightened onto the barrel, so it wasn't really difficult to get it back into there, so that's good. One other thing, someone else had pointed this out as a comment on my KP-15 video, and I'm not sure if they're right or not. I noticed that the pins on this kind of came out the opposite direction of what's typical. You know, I've got them on this side, and usually you push from, you know, this side to the other to get the pins out. You know, those captive pins that most AR lowers have. These don't have captive pins. They've just got these guys. Well, he said I was putting them in the wrong direction. That's why they're coming in the wrong direction. And I'm like, well, they do fit in this direction. I mean, they do snap in there. Well, what I was thinking on it was that, and maybe this is the way it's supposed to go, so maybe I'm being stupid here. We've got a hole here, and maybe that hole that the end of this goes into, maybe that's there to make it easier for that to push out. I kind of thought that it was designed to be recess for the head of this, because the head does slide into that perfectly. So am I doing it backwards? I don't know. But anyway, as far as the KP-15 itself, I'm going to be keeping my Ruger upper on this thing because I just like the feel of it, even with the heavier upper on it. I'm just going to keep it paired with it for now because I just like this. It is a smidge shorter than what my Ruger extends out to, so maybe I can find something to put on this to extend it a little bit, to kind of get that little bit back. Not that it's a huge detriment, I can still shoot really well with it. I'm just used to it out just a smidge more. I'm eventually going to make a lightweight upper to stick on this thing, you know, get some lightweight receiver and a pencil barrel and carbon fiber on it and go ahead and knock some more weight off of it. But I'm definitely gonna keep this on here. I need to get something to allow me to stick my sling on it. Don't know if that means putting one of these M-LOK QD attachments here, or just putting the QD attachment in the slot there in the receiver there. But yeah, definitely going to be keeping that. So I plan on getting some more videos out. This is just kind of a little quick update on both of these two, just to let you know what was happening with these. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down into the comment section and leave any thoughts you have down there. And if you're interested, you can also subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification to make sure that you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.